Boyle's air pump. The 17th century was the beginning of the invention and discoveries of the 18th century, known today as the Enlightenment. Like steam engines, light or cameras, air pumps known today under the name of vacuum pump were also improved and tested during this period. The subject of this slideshow is therefore air pump. We will discover it first through its creator, Robert Boyle, then through its functioning, through the analysis of a painting by Joseph Wright, and finally we will look at what it has become. Robert Boyle was an Anglo-Irish natural philosopher, chemist and inventor. Boyle is largely regarded today as the first modern chemist, and therefore one of the founders of modern chemistry, and one of the pioneers of modern experimental scientific methods. He is best known for Boyle's law, which describes the inversely proportional relationship between the absolute pressure and volume of a gas. Later, he joined the Royal Society and he became a member of the council. In 1680, he was elected president of the society, but declined the honor from a scruple about oath. In 1659, Robert Boyle commissioned the construction of an air pump, described as a pneumatic engine, which is known today as a vacuum pump. But the air pump was originally invented by Otto von Guericke in 1650 and was preceded by the suction pump, which dates to antiquity. A vacuum pump is a device that draws gas molecule from a sealed volume in order to leave behind a partial vacuum. The job of a vacuum pump is to generate a relative vacuum within a capacity. Despite the operational and maintenance obstacle, construction of the pump enabled Boyle to conduct a great number of experiments on the properties of air, which he later delayed in a book. Boyle tests the effect of rarefied air on combustion, magnetism, sound, substances. But as we mentioned, the first model of air vacuum could only rarefy the air. But the creation of a total siphon space will only come much later, so in fact, those are only the premise of the true air vacuum we have today. In his book, he lists two experiments on living creatures. Experiment 40, which tested the ability of insects to fly under reduced air pressure, and the dramatic experiment 41, which demonstrates the reliance of living creature on air for their survival. In every field of science, animals have always been the perfect guinea pigs, and we can see that in Boyle's experiment as well as in the following painting from Joseph Wright of Derby called An Experiment on a Bird in the Air Pump. Joseph Wright of Derby was an English landscape and portrait painter. He has been acclaimed as the first professional painter to express the spirit of the Industrial Revolution. The Experiment on a Bird is an oil-on-canvas painting that takes place in 1768, which means it's 70 years later after Robert Boyle's death. The painting departed from convention of the time by depicting a scientific subject in the reverential manner formerly reserved for scenes of historical or religious significance. There are different characters on the painting, but the most important are those two little girls seeing this horrific scene. We can actually say that Boyle participated a lot to make the air pump, which he described first as a motor, to become the air vacuum we all know today. But that other men of science as well participated, like the one on this painting, and other until the 21st century. To finish, the air vacuum, like other machines or instruments of science, leveled up until the 21st century. And as we talk, there is a lot of different types of air vacuum, and they are all used for different purposes. To help with the food sector, to make products, they are also used in car brake mechanism, or even at school to make experiments.